Welcome back. Giant Studios has released a significant update to Stormgate, what we're hoping is the next generation of real-time strategy games. Many of the developers of StarCraft 2, Warcraft 3, and just strategy games in general coming together to bring us, well, very high hopes and expectations, and here they're trying to make good on some of those expectations. So instead of speculation, it's time for information. Let's see what they have to say with this early Christmas gift here. All right. I do love that logo, though it is reminiscent of certain things that will not be named.
It's been about 6 months since we announced
Hi, Tim.
Stormgate,
Half the
and we want
Tims
to
who
provide
founded the
an
company.
update on our development. We're actually building our own game engine, and no, that doesn't mean that we're not using Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 is powering all of the graphics and sound and input, provides the pathways for all of the art that we put into the game. But the gameplay itself is driven by a piece of technology that we're developing called Snowplay. Snowplay is a custom developed
I
engine
understand
for
these
real-time
words.
strategy.
Some of them.
It is a set of logic that is being built exclusively by our team here at Frost Giant, designed to handle the high unit counts and the low latency networking that are necessary to facilitate a really great real-time strategy game. You're going to hear today
I liked all
from
those
James
words.
Anhalt,
I
our
thought they
chief
were great.
architect, who is leading the development of
Optimistic.
Snowplay. And you're also going to hear from our art director, Jesse Brophy, who is leading the design for each of the factions or races that are going to be featured in our game.
All right, James. James, one of the engineers who built the StarCraft 2 engine. So there might be literally no one more qualified to potentially take on a project like this. It doesn't sound like a small feat to design, even in the framework, Unreal Engine 5, an entirely new engine, and somehow have it. Well, the expectation is at least as good as StarCraft 2, if not better. What does James think, though? What's realistic?
Game engine that we built to provide us with fast,
there's going to be a lot of nerd words here.
RTS gameplay. Snowplay is all about
I might
making
have to
Stormgate
pause a few
more
times.
fun. The fun in the game comes from how responsive the game is and how it just feels to play it.
Okay, I understood those words. I really like them. That's true. That is one of the biggest frustrations with non-StarCraft 2 games, essentially, is once you've driven the Bugatti, going back to the Prius does not spark joy. All right.
Unreal Engine 5 provides a client-server networking model, but we require a networking model that supports a large number of units. And Snowplay gives us this deterministic engine where we can just simulate the game based on...
Okay. All right. So, you know what? I'm going to let James talk and maybe explain it. I get a little intimidated whenever I see a PowerPoint slide. Yeah, I just have this reaction. James.
On the player inputs. Snowplay allows us to simulate Stormgate at 60 Hz for smooth, responsive gameplay feel. It'll be the most responsive RTS game I've ever worked on, and I've worked on a few great ones. Rollback allows us...
I can't believe he said it with a straight face, though. So he says the most responsive RTS. If I know anything, and I'm not, 60 hertz means essentially 60 times a second. The game will update based on your commands or what it expects. From my understanding, for example, StarCraft 2 is around 20-ish hertz, or I don't know if tick rate is a parallel term or a similar term, but another example, AoE 4 is about 8. So, like, StarCraft 2 already feels quite responsive in comparison to other games. 60 would be, like, we're past the point where it's more responsive than the APM, essentially, humans could ever have. So that's pretty fast.
For smooth, responsive gameplay feel. It'll be the most responsive RTS game I've ever worked on, and I've worked on a few great ones. Rollback allows us to reduce the lag a player feels playing the game over the internet. Rollback works by allowing
What
us
about
to
from my
simulate the
brain
game
to the
even in the absence of player input. And if we receive input later, we can roll back to that time that the input happened and then simulate forward really quickly to catch back up. Snowplay allows us to mass spec.
Okay, so I never know how to do these videos. I don't know if I should watch the whole thing and then go back to the important points or pause. You can go watch the video yourself all the way through and then come back here and hear my thoughts on it. I've seen it all, but I got to talk about that. So that means it's essentially predicting what you're going to do, and if you do something different, there will be such a small change that it can easily catch up, and it's almost like there was no difference at all. So they're somehow, of the people I want to interview, James is near the top of the list because I know it's not like a super popular viral topic to go into the nuts and bolts and latency and hertz and other things of RTS, and I don't really have that experience, but I it's very interesting to me for professional and personal reasons, and I'd love to get a little bit more idea of what to expect from that, though we're going to continue here and talk about spectating. But you're getting me excited. I haven't seen any gameplay. There's no gameplay in this video. But I'm getting excited, and I need to calm down.
Snowplay allows us to mass spectate games where the viewer can rewind, have instant replays, and then fast forward back to where they were originally.
What?
Because Snowplay is deterministic, we can mass spectate a live game
What?
by broadcasting just the player's actions to the viewers and re-simulate the game on their computers.
This seems like...
Snowplay enables designers to iterate quickly by compiling...
No. He's just hitting all these huge points. So that means, to compare with StarCraft 2, StarCraft 2 also has a pretty... From my understanding, it uses essentially a text file to replay the game on your computer, and that's why replay files are like in the kilobytes. It's not a video file, it's a text file. I do wonder with this system if it's going to be significantly larger. Like I can't imagine a full resimulation of the game is going to be in the form of a such a compact form, but who knows? Remember, he helped design, or was a big part of designing the StarCraft 2 system, so obviously that's a priority. But he said instant replay and then back to the amount of effort we have to go through to do that now is you essentially have another computer recording one game, like one part of the game, and you just in production here, like if I was to go back and put another version of this video, we just play that. So what he's implying is you can just do that in the game with the touch of a button or key or control, whatever, which would be absolutely amazing and incredible and exciting. And what else?
all the game logic into WebAssembly so that they can iterate while never leaving the game.
Oh, okay.
This also
No, that's the editors. Okay, so he's saying instead of having to go to the map editor, into the game, and then back to the map editor, back into the game, just also he's looking into my soul right now, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Go back to the PowerPoint. Yeah, so, well, I don't really mess around too much in the map editor in StarCraft 2. People have made some amazing things. They've literally made Heroes of the Storm was made off the StarCraft 2 engine. I'm already... I gotta rein it in. We haven't seen anything yet, but if they can even get a fraction of that power, and it sounds like they're looking to exceed it, like custom game modders, and I'm gonna go ahead and quote paraphrase Tim and Tim from my interview when they first announced the game, which is they also want to create an ecosystem where people who are putting a ton of work into custom games and maps and mods, which have an opportunity not just to show it off, but potentially monetize it and make a return on it in order to, one, encourage people to make more, and to reward people for making good content, which is something that is a bit of a gray area at best with Blizzard.
The potential for modders to be able to iterate quickly and reach the same level of polish.
The art team's been focused on a lot
All
of
right. Okay. No. Jesse, I'm sure you have exciting things to say. So James, in what, honestly, I mean, knowing engineers, he's saying all these things like, yes, this is the plan, this is what we're doing, but all of this would be literally a generational leap. In my opinion, kind of like what StarCraft 2 was, and continues to be compared to Brood War or like Warcraft 3. And games before it, where it just kind of brings a huge technological advancement that allows people to do so many new things. And that was a big part. I think, believe it was Giant Grant, who made a video talking about how important the custom game community is. Co-op is still the most popular part of StarCraft 2. Imagine what people could do if they had these kind of tools. What they've already done with the tools StarCraft 2 gives. And then mods and customizability. That was something I think StarCraft 2 suffered from for many years, is a lack of like there weren't voice packs, I say a little biased, there weren't skins, anything like that. That wasn't added till significantly later on to any real extent. And it was never really the original intent of the game, but they're going in with that and more powerful. Okay. All right. I'm just going to keep going in circles if we don't move on. We'll recap at the end. But cut point. Thank you, James. I look so much forward to more. Exciting for players, for casters, commentators, content creators, custom game makers, modders. Every part of this is potentially amazing.
And reach the same level of polish.
60 hertz.
The art team's been
That's
focused
so
on a
many.
lot of things in the last 5 months. We wanted to get a unified visual vision for both the Resistance and
I believe this is the first time we've heard. I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in the name. The Resistance. Okay. Fine. I guess you can't just say the humans because that has some overlap. And it is quite explanatory based on the storyline, which we're going to explain, but I'm leaning towards Infernal Host, but maybe the art will sell me.
and the Infernal Host. We're also doing a lot of work on our core technology inside of Unreal, as well as a great deal of environment work for our terrain and our cliff systems. We're calling
Cliffs
the human faction
confirmed.
the Resistance, and they're humanity's last line of defense against the Infernal invaders. They're a scrappy group. They've preserved knowledge about advanced robotics and scientific know-how.
Haven't heard
and
this one
gives us
before.
a lot of options for mech designs, as well as creative exploration of future technologies. Recently, the concept team took about 6 weeks to focus on the visual development of the Resistance. We didn't have design briefs, and none of these are specifically going to go into game. It's just us exploring visually what
So,
the faction.
the disclaimer there, in case it wasn't explicitly, this is not exactly what it looks like, just the general style they've decided on. So don't expect exactly these units.
This first
but
image is by Leah, one of our concept artists, and it's just her exploring stuff that she kind of wanted to look into visually. She got inspiration from Buzz Lightyear and F-14 Tomcats, and this is the result of that.
Well,
this next image is one created by Tim.
I'm gonna speculate anyways.
And it's his take on what a Resistance flying unit could look like. This final unit is called the Gigamech, created by John Ryder. We don't know if this
Big
mech
robot
will ever
mech.
get into the game, but artistically we wanted to explore what it could look like if there was an end game unit, something that was so massive when it came out.
Look
of
at
the
those
battlefield that
fingers,
one
though.
side was going to have to win over the other. The Infernal Host is a violent,
Gorillatron.
warmongering society of alien creatures. They travel through Stormgates from planet to planet, conquering
There it is. There it is. The Stormgates. Where they...
any
And here's your
life forms that they come
storyline.
across. Anything strong enough to fight back is assimilated into their ranks. Their main purpose is for resources, primarily what we would call life force or anima. Earth has a great deal of anima, which makes it a high-value target to the Infernals. To them, energy equals power. The human faction uses advanced robotics. The Infernals use magic.
Okay.
Just like
So, in case, if you're wondering, like, what genre is this game? Is it sci-fi? Is it fantasy? Yes. Honestly, I'd kind of like to see, we don't even have any other information on the factions like exactly what they're going to be right now. But I think that leaves the field wide open for additional factions at some point.
The Resistance visual development that we did, we also did the same thing for the Infernals. We took 6 weeks to really focus on what the designs are going to be so that we had a unified language for the team. This image is what we're calling the Mist Reaper. We loved it the second Leah drew it. It, again, was all part of our exploration to go, how do we want to design the Infernals? This image is by TJ. Again,
That's one of my
concept
favorites.
artists,
I love that.
And he really wanted to explore the structures of the Infernals and what the shape language was and what type of materials we could use to explore them. This final image by Tom,
I'm not sure about this one.
is what we're calling
I mean, the image is good. I'm not sure about the style, but I mean, it looks very.
There's some areas where we want to add some charm and levity, and we thought this would be a great place to do it. Again, we don't know if any of these units will make it into the game. We're just exploring.
I can already see the carbot animations.
So that's what we've been working on. I know everybody's eager for some gameplay footage, and we will share some gameplay footage next year before closed testing starts. But in the meantime, I want to wish you a happy holiday on behalf of everyone here on the Frost Giant development team.
Ah! Okay, that was a bit of a abrupt. Okay, all right. I wanna jump back a little.
Smooth, responsive.
Back to the PowerPoint. So, obviously, this is a very, very simplified version of what they're intending on. So, what is our summary? Unreal Engine 5 is being used, but they have to design an entire set of logic, apparently, in order to facilitate many units. And what number of units? How many digits? How many zeros on the end? At least a few, I think. Like, I think the intent is while competitive multiplayer will, at least in my imagination, is going to be a little bit closer to the StarCraft number of units, with maybe a few hundred on each side, on the very outside. But with the possibility for a campaign or custom games to be in the thousands. I also, if you can give me 60 hertz, he's saying it's going to be 3 times as responsive as StarCraft 2, which is just like unnecessarily good. And all the observer, I'll wait till I see it. I can't, I don't want to talk about it more because it makes me so excited and simultaneously disappointed that I have to wait. So, yes, keep talking server states to me, James. Yes. Moving on to Jimmy. Do we have? Yeah, there we are. We got some of the art up. Honestly, like I said, I'm a little disappointed by the name, The Resistance. It's fine. It's not. It's also very recognizable without overlapping on anything in particular. But let's pause on this one. Now, so 1, air units, obviously confirmed here. I do like the designs. I think they fit really well. I'm liking what they're already thinking about with the accents, because as a player, a lot of RTS, even StarCraft in some cases, but like you can already see they're working on potentially having player colors on stuff with the accents and all that, making units kind of distinct from one another, both in their what do you call it? Their silhouette and their colors as well. Of course, a lot of that comes down to animation and sound too, which we haven't heard anything on or seen anything on. But what do we got? What's the next one here? Oh, the Gigamech. All right. Well, Protocol 1, protect the pot. There will be mechs. I'm sure there will be mechs. I don't know, and I'm sure that there will be some Odin style. I don't know about multiplayer, how that'll play out, but it looks cool. But the hand, what is it gonna? I guess it might grab people. Maybe there's a reason you can't shoot at the Infernal host. They have too good super armor or something. And then, honestly, I love it. I love this one. The winged, the winged assault flyer man. Let's see. Let's come up with something. I'm thinking the Sparrow. Okay, the assault sparrow. Maybe we'll use bird-like things as a theme. There seems to be a lot of like flight edges and stuff like that. I could definitely see some bird-like names. If there are any birds left on Earth, of course. Maybe just in remembrance of birds. And then I'm really sold on the Infernal designs. Now, I don't know about the what seemed to be kind of like a worker unit based on what it was doing, but this looks great. I think there's a lot of like that looks like a Dark Templar-esque, like maybe a Dark Templar-esque unit with obviously very quick, slicey, probably melee unit. Whereas my very favoriteest one is this. That looks like a supply building or something. Like, if you haven't yet watched my interview with Kevin Dong, the game designer, I have never heard anyone talk about supply mechanics in such a 1, coherent way, 2, passionate, and 3, at such length. He spends about 10 minutes without me saying anything talking about and not because I was bored. It was just about 10 minutes talking about the intricacies of supply depots, of moonwells, overlords, their implications. And that to me looks like I don't know, a Stormgate anchor for the Infernal host. I love the design. I love the really clean look. I think honestly, like the grungy. I think the Infernal host should be like really polished. They're what, a multi-galactic or multi-planetary species who's a similar, like they're gonna be figured out. They got their whole system in place. The Resistance, honestly, it's going to be kind of, from what we're seeing so far, also has a very clean look to it for the rundown humans that are getting cut to pieces by the Infernal host. But I really love this look personally. That's just my opinion of it. But leave your comments. I think, I mean, I can already see the Carbot animations for this. But I see this more as like maybe a throwaway. Like this looks like a Halo grunt to me. Like you send them out and you don't expect them to come back, and if they do, you're happy about it. Like, but maybe not like a core unit sort of thing. It looks really nice, but I really love that clean cut theme there. That like I don't know, that neo fantasy. I'm just saying words now, but I'm excited. I hope you are as well. Look, Jimmy, just let it play. But here's your update, your pre-Christmas update to Stormgate. I hope you agree. I'd love to hear more on both sides of this. I'd love to interview both of the great people we saw here today, or someone on the teams about it. If you have any questions or any requests, I can potentially pass that on as well. And you can check out Stormgate on, I believe, the Frost Giant and the Stormgate Reddits. They're always taking feedback there. And, of course, just go check out this video on their YouTube channel without me pausing and talking over it for 3 times the length of the video. So there's your update to Stormgate. And I hope there are no more for a while, because they're just going to get me excited, and I can't play it yet. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you're a little bit excited as well. Like, subscribe, all that. I'll see you next time. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.